So, you think it's easy running a virtual classroom? Well, it can be with my top tips for acing it virtually. Here goes. Preparation. Know your notes. It's not a time you can be following trainer's notes word for word. On a virtual, every second counts and all eyes are on your face. They don't want to be looking at your hair or lack of it. So be prepared, know the content, know the flow. And that way, if there is an unexpected question thrown in, a virtual hand raise, or even a technical glitch, it won't throw you off the edge because you'll be well prepared in your head. And if you do need the safety blanket of notes, go for a simple bullet pointed list just to mind jog you through the session. And if that's not enough, you know what that means. You're not well prepared enough, so prep some more. Next, log on early. Think of a face-to-face classroom. It's good practice to get there early, set up, test the equipment, organise your materials, then relax and have a cuppa before that early bird arrives. And it's just the same online, only for different reasons. So you might be needing to check the web link. Is it correct as advertised? Have you double checked it? Is the video call set up as required? Do you need to pre-create any breakout rooms or pre-create any polls? Do you need to test videos and do you need to test sound? The waiting room. So isn't it secretly frustrating when that early bird shows up 45 minutes before the start of your face-to-face session? And of course you make them feel very welcome and you show them where the kettle is, but inside you're thinking, no, I wanted some quiet time. Well, the great news is with virtuals, this doesn't have to happen. And that's because you can create a waiting room where everyone waits in this space separately to each other. And a holding page explains what classroom they're waiting for and when it will start. And this means you can admit them when you're ready. Joy. And you can even broadcast a message out whilst they wait. And that's a perfect signifier to them that there's somebody preparing at the other end. But it also allows you to send any important messages out before the virtual classroom starts, such as please have your pre-work handy or get yourself a drink before we start. Just a word of advice though, don't admit them bang on the start time because that could be perceived negatively. Is our facilitator not prepared, or does our facilitator not really want to talk to us or join us? So maybe a few minutes before, get them onto the call to settle into their new virtual world and get used to their surroundings. And also it means you can start on time. Backup plan. Have one. So if you lose internet connection, such as your internet goes down temporarily or your webinar account just throws a wobbly, have a backup. Well, what sort of backup? Have you nominated a co-host? So that should you suddenly drop off the call, your call continues with the co-host, at least until you return. Now, most software these days will keep things going until you return, but what happens in the meantime? What happened if you couldn't get back on? And should the worst happen and your account freezes completely or you get locked out, do you have a second account, such as a colleague's, that you can use in an emergency? Get a hotspot. Isn't it typical? Your internet is absolutely fine until you're about to start your virtual classroom and then it drops. Then before you know it, you're frozen out of your own virtual classroom with your participants just left hanging, not knowing what to do next. So I'd recommend invest in a separate hotspot that uses a completely different connection to that of your own internet provider. So think of a 4G or 5G mobile Wi-Fi device, that can do the trick. Or even just a reliable and unlimited hotspot from a tablet or a phone. But just make sure that alternative is strong and reliable and not going to sting you with any extra hotspotting charges either. Next, get a friend. In other words, have a co-host or a co-facilitator, especially in your early days. Just think you're dealing with potentially new material, you're also busy looking after your delegates, but you're also having to deal with the unpredictability of hardware and software. You know, you are in essence broadcasting, and you can feel the pressure in the early days. Now, if there is a minor glitch, that split second can feel like hours. So to have someone that can just fill in the dead air with conversation whilst you sort out the issues can be a huge help. And really, in any event, you'll appreciate when a co-facilitator joins any conversation, because it gives you a few moments to have a breather and have that drink. Next, be a delegate. Now, I always have another device set up and in clear view so I can see exactly what my delegates can see. Now, it can be so useful. It's great peace of mind for you that everything is working as expected. But it's also a good indicator if there is an issue, because you can rectify it as soon as possible. I remember once upon a time I pressed play on a video while screen sharing, and I looked back at my other device and nothing was playing, and I soon realised I actually wasn't screen sharing at all. But that really helped me put it right for my virtual learners and not lose much time. And also, should you have a freeze on your computer, you might wonder, is it them or is it you? Well, by having that second device, you know for sure where the problem lies. So the device can serve as a useful replacement as well, should your system crash. Next, the right environment for you. So think Maslow for me. So is the temperature right? You'll tend to warm up as you move through the session due to that mix of adrenaline and nerves. So be cooler rather than warmer right from the start. Think of your lighting. Is it right for you? You don't want lights glaring at you or reflecting off your screen. You need clear vision of everything, and the smallest distraction can be amplified so much when you're broadcasting. What about a drink? I always have a drink handy. It's always close by, because it's amazing how dry your throat can get due to either nerves or just talking. And if you do go croaky or lose your voice during a virtual classroom, well, we've all seen news presenters do that on TV, haven't we? And it's never good. Oh, and I also have a sugary snack handy as well, just in case I need a quick energy kick. Good job this channel's not about diabetes. There we have it. That's my top tips for making your time delivering virtual classrooms memorable for all the right reasons. Just a little bit of planning and contingency means you can relax into the online learning and subsequently provide the best experience for your learners. Remember, every second counts on a virtual classroom, so the smoother it can be, the better for everyone. Now, if you've liked this video, please press the like and subscribe button below, and that way we can keep in touch and you'll be the first to know of any new content. Thanks for joining me, and until next time, stay safe.